The top 10 ways Donald Trump's presidency hurt America. Was America better off after 4 years of President Trump? Ronald Reagan's famous question may be the best measure of a president's success, or, in Trump's case, miserable failure. Let's remember the top 10 ways America was worse off after 4 years of President Trump. Number 10. 3,000 to 4,000 Americans dying daily. In 2018, Donald Trump dismantled the nation's pandemic response team because big government or something. When the COVID-19 pandemic hit and hospital morgues were literally overflowing into the parking lots, President Trump called it all a hoax, forced states to compete for protective equipment, mocked face masks as politically correct, and promoted injecting household disinfectants. Consequently, the United States had more confirmed COVID deaths than any country in the world. More Americans died from COVID than in the Civil War and World War II combined. On the single day that Trump left office, 4,409 Americans died of the pandemic, more than in Pearl Harbor and more than in the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks. Number 9. 14.8% unemployment and 26 million unemployment claims. Donald Trump's botched COVID response caused needless death, but it also caused a spike in unemployment that reached 14.8%. By the day Donald Trump proposed injecting household cleaners as a cure, over 26 million unemployment claims had been filed. Ultimately, Donald Trump was the first president with a net loss of jobs since Herbert Hoover. Number 8. Sabotaging the Postal Service. Donald Trump's Postmaster General, Louis DeJoy, eliminated overtime and hundreds of mail sorting machines and slashed the number of public mailboxes nationwide. His sabotage caused pileups of medications, paychecks, and more across the country. Meanwhile, Trump boasted that he was blocking emergency funding for the Postal Service as a scheme to interfere with the 2020 election by suppressing absentee voting. Number 7. Torching indispensable treaties. The INF Treaty lasted 32 years and helped eliminate over 2,600 Soviet and U.S. missiles. In 2019, Donald Trump tore it up. He did the same to the Paris Climate Agreement and the Iranian nuclear deal. He literally inherited a signed deal to denuclearize Iran, and he torched it. Number 6. Economic inequality. According to Inequality.org, even before the pandemic, the bottom 96% of households saw their incomes shrink. Even real income for business owners was flat, but the richest of the rich saw their incomes grow 34%. So much for Trump's 2016 campaign promise to raise taxes on the rich. He ditched that almost as fast as his promise to quit golfing. Number 5. Glorifying political violence. We've done an entire top 10 list on Donald Trump's lust for political violence. Trump supporters tried to run Biden's 2020 campaign bus off the road, while local police laughed and refused to protect Biden's team. Others plotted to kidnap the governor of Michigan, tried to break through barriers at FBI field offices, nearly murdered the husband of the Speaker of the House, and infiltrated the U.S. Capitol with calls to hang the vice president. Rather than calling for calm, Donald Trump routinely incited, excused, and glorified such violence, and he's still doing it today. Number 4. Ending the peaceful transfer of power. So after 4 years of Trump, Americans were poorer, losing their jobs, dying by the thousands, and violently radicalized. The least Trump could do was leave office in peace. Instead, according to Jack Smith's indictment, Trump pressured state officials to overturn the 2020 election results in their states. He organized fake electors to submit fraudulent electoral votes to Congress. He pressured the Justice Department to validate bogus election fraud claims, pressured the vice president to accept the fraudulent electoral votes at the January 6 certification, and then he incited and exploited the deadly January 6 terrorist attack on the Capitol. Number 3. Rampant anti-Semitism. For some reason, anti-Semites seemed really emboldened under President Trump. Maybe it was Trump's refusal to attend the annual White House Passover Seder, his routine use of anti-Semitic tropes, or his refusal to even mention Judaism on Holocaust Remembrance Day. Whatever their motivation, 2019 saw a record number of anti-Semitic acts in Trump's America. Over 2,100 incidents, from shooters at a California synagogue and a kosher store in New Jersey to a stabbing at a New York rabbi's home, when a Jewish reporter asked Trump about dozens of recent bomb threats to Jewish community centers, Trump called the man a liar and then accused Democrats of faking the violence themselves. Number 2. Weaponizing the Justice Department. Attorney General Bill Barr interfered in multiple cases of interest to his boss, Donald Trump. Barr reversed harsh sentencing recommendations for convicted Trump aides Roger Stone and Michael Flynn. Barr ordered New York prosecutors to stop investigating Trump for falsification of business records, and tried to reverse Michael Cohen's related conviction. When the lead prosecutor resisted orders to investigate innocent Democrats, Trump fired him. Barr also blocked investigators from subpoenaing Trump's financial records while investigating a suspicious $10 million cash withdrawal from an Egyptian bank. Then, he fired every prosecutor who wouldn't shut that investigation down. Chuck Rosenberg said this signaled a, quote, political infestation, and that is the single most dangerous thing that you can do to the Department of Justice, end quote. Number 1. The Supreme Court. Donald Trump appointed 3 Supreme Court justices after Republicans blocked President Obama's 2016 appointment. Trump's new ultra-right-wing majority overturned Roe v. Wade in 2022, with horrific consequences for women and girls. In Mississippi, the government forced a 13-year-old rape victim to birth her rapist's baby. In Ohio, multiple minor girls, including a 10-year-old, had to flee the state for abortion care after surviving rape. In 2024, the court granted presidents varying degrees of immunity for crimes committed while president. In the words of Justice Sotomayor, quote, "The president is now a king, above the law, orders the Navy's SEAL Team 6 to assassinate a political rival? Immune. Organizes a military coup to hold on to power? Immune. Takes a bribe in exchange for a pardon? Immune, 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 immune." End quote. No, the country was not better off after 4 years of Donald Trump. What do you think is the worst legacy of President Donald Trump? Let us know in the comments. Be sure to like this video and subscribe, and check out the rest of our Top 10 Trump series.